Hi, it's a Working Whiskey Woman again. Welcome back, and we're going to start with featuring some of our female, our women distillers and our women owners. Marianne Eaves created quite a stir when she created Castle and Key, and we're starting to see more and more women actually becoming master distillers, master tasters, and actually owning their own business. One of my favorite ones is actually a craft bourbon. Is called Jeptha, and this is from Joyce and Autumn Neathry, I believe the last name is. I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but anyway, this is basically a picture of their distillery and of the master distiller. It's a mother-daughter team, which I think is pretty cool. And what they did is they decided they were going to go from ground to glass. That is, they actually use the corn that's locally sourced from their own farms, from their grandfather that started the farm many years ago. And so you can see the color is actually, this is actually some cornmeal. The color is a little bit different. It's actually a red corn, unlike, usually a yellow corn that you see. And so hence it got the name Bloody Butcher. So it's an heirloom corn, which we don't see a lot of nowadays. And anything that they get that isn't raised on their farm is all sourced locally. So they try to really use the local area. This is out of Shelbyville in Kentucky, which is just right outside Louisville. I'm gonna say that right, Louisville. And it's a really nice little trip. It's a small little distillery, but they're doing some really fantastic things. And so right now they have a lot of vodkas, but this is their main one that they're featuring right now, which is basically, it's a Bloody Butcher corn, 4-grain bourbon. Now 4-grain means that it not only has corn in it, which is going to be the base, it's also going to have rye and malted barley, as we're normally used to seeing, but it also has wheat. So you have the combination of the rye and the wheat. It's like you don't have to choose. You get the best of both worlds. And so there's not a lot of places that will do a 4-grain. It's not. It's usually advertised as a 4-grain rather than as just a straight bourbon. And one of my favorite ones of all time is actually E.H. Taylor. Everybody knows that I'm a huge fan of E.H. Taylor. So when I tried this one, this 4-grain, it had a lot to live up to, because I'm telling you, E.H. Taylor, Bottle and Bond, you just can't go much wrong after that. So you can see right now, you can kind of get that red color in it. It's got a little bit more color than what I'm used to seeing. Not just the amber, but it almost looks like it was aged in like a Cabernet Sauvignon barrel or something like that. You can kind of get the really a lot of that color. And on the note, smelling it, wow, I get definitely a lot of citrus. I also get that element of peach. So there's a nice peach kind of stone fruit thing going on. Really lovely. But it also has a lot more of that floral, kind of like if you had some clover. I think there's a little clover in it. I'm going to wait to put the water in to try it first. Oh, wow. So the taste has actually got that, a little bit more of that caramel kind of coming through. And it definitely has the floral notes kind of happening on it. You can almost taste a little bit of that wheat, a little bit of that kind of yeasty, happy bread feel. And you can definitely get a lot of that clover, but you still get the sweetness of that nice peach stone fruit kind of coming through. And it kind of finishes like that at the end. So I'm going to put my water in. And again, you don't want to swirl like wine, but you just want to kind of take a look. And now I'm kind of getting more of a fragrant farm, for sure. I'm getting that pear note on it too. It's very much like a fall harvest. It's actually how it kind of tastes. And the smell of it is kind of like what you would get in the fields when you're ready to harvest all of that beautiful grain, all that beautiful corn. you know, and just all that beautiful fruit. So I honestly am really happy with this. This is really great over some ice. I think it's going to be really fantastic. One other thing I wanted to point out, you can see my t-shirt, Bourbon Badass. This is what I got at the distillery when I was there. And one of the things I picked up was actually, they called it a Bourbon Badass training manual. And this is a really handy thing to have. What it basically is it kind of just explains like your tasting notes, like on what date, what distillery, and what did you like about it? What did you not like about it? One of the things is that you'll see things on ratings, and I'm very skeptical of ratings because ratings are really kind of a subjective thing. My husband and I have two different flavor profiles, and even from friend to friend, it can be very different. And remember, taste is based on experience. So it's really handy to have a journal like this to kind of write your notes, because after you try it a while, you're like, what was that one? And somebody asks about it, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember, and you have something to help you with. So on that note, I'd encourage you to go take a look at Jeptha Creed. I'm really impressed with it. It compared to my E.H. Taylor, it did not disappoint. It gave me a lot of really cool notes, and you know, it just really gave me a lot of really cool memories from harvest time when I was growing up in the fields. And we would go up in Romeo, Michigan, they would have the Peach Festival, and you would see all the fields that were kind of full, and everything that was just ready to go and ready and ripe and harvesty and just delicious. So on that note, cheers.